let's add it. There we go. Just trying to get this push pin back in my pen. So don't worry about it. Ugh. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Now just get this rubber pushback thing back in there. There we go. There we go. Fixed. Alright, I'm gonna crack this coffee open. Alright. Now to load a bowl in. All that shenanigans. Alrighty. I'll get this all loaded up and ready to go. And boom, sweet. Yeah, definitely a little groggy today, but luckily not too bad. Gross. There we go. All right. Now I got my bowl ready to load. Do you work today? I do indeed. Just on a lunch break. Piece of shit. Well, that feels a little better. Torch seen better days. Yeah, it definitely has. It's actually pretty full too. It's just, yeah, I think it's this part, like where the flow is on this thing. I'd not smoked weed 4 days. Damn. I'm assuming either tolerance break or just questionable means of having to acquire it because of certain legalities of states or country. Which is lame because it should just be illegal, honestly. There's literally, like considering the damage done, in society when it comes to drugs, like weed is literally at like the bottom of the totem pole here. Which, speaking of, let no one know all that shit. Give yourself a little away, cause doing good, but groggy. I'm a groggy bean. Which just kind of realized, like, I'm gonna need to do an early shift tomorrow. Ugh. Because I'm gonna have to, like, at least, like, get off at like 8, just so I can make sure I can get to the airport on time and all that. Unless I'm getting a ride from one of my buddies, so solves that. And at some point tonight, I need to make sure I get all my shit ready. I don't see weed ever not being legal again. Well, yeah. Like, I know what you meant. Yeah, because, I mean, it's one of those things that, it's the floodgates have already opened, It's just a matter of time until every state in the country eventually legalizes it. I mean, there's other countries that have legalized it before the entire U.S., for fuck's sake. Like Canada. I think even Germany recently legalized it. Netherlands is in, like, a weird, like, it's illegal, but it's kind of like a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing, basically. And Amsterdam has like certain rules around it, but they pretty much kind of have it basically kind of proxy legal if you think about it. She'll be legalizing it. Well, I suppose it'd be something if she's actually going to do it instead of it just being an empty promise, because Biden said the same thing. And all we got was it being descheduled. So, I don't know. I'm not going to exactly take her word on it. Plus, her record about that, it hasn't exactly been great, historically. Pledging to make it a law to land. Well, I mean, I know about, like, when politicians say pledge or promise and stuff. So, it's one of those things where I'll believe it and I'll be happy, if it happens, and see it, but they got a little skepticism, at least, when it comes to that right now. Been fooled before, and it's like, I don't want to get fooled again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you can't get fooled again. Not gonna lie, that's probably one of my favorite Bushisms. I mean, it's a pretty easy promise to fulfill. It is. I mean, honestly, it's why I'm saying, it's like, hey, then do it. I mean, I feel like, she could, like, kind of squeeze it in a little bit now. I mean, she does technically got some power right now as it is, being Veep. Already has it legal, and there's been efforts in Congress for years to legalize it nationally. Yeah, there's even been Republicans on board with this. I mean, so it's pretty much like literally just like the most right-wing backwards states that are wanting to just keep it, illegal. Because even in a lot of states where it's still not recreational legal, there's medical legalization. So it's pretty much like already there for the most part. It's just that you just have like weird fucking, extreme conservatives basically that are still like, no. Like in Texas and shit. Everyone likes money. Exactly. And a lot of these states, including red ones, have realized that there's a lot of fuck you money to be made out of it. Dude, imagine if Texas legalized it. I mean, if all the fucking land that they got, dude, they'd be like shitting weed. They'll be pissing it out of their damn state, bro. Like, they'd be competing with California for how much weed would grow and be harvested there, you know what I mean? It's like, not all of it outside, I'd imagine, but at least, there'd be a lot of grow-outs going on. Because I definitely know that under the table it is certainly a thing. They should legalize it. Maybe we're talking freedoms. Oh, dude. That's why I'm skeptical about Texas doing it. That's why I'm saying imagine, because they're not going to do it anytime soon. It's too much of a good old boys club down there. Like, just straight up. Even with some of my more conservative family, they're for it, but they want it, like, super hyper strict, and they're not even sure if they really want the state to do it. They're kind of like, just let the government do it. But, it needs to be super strict and you shouldn't be able to just, like, walk in or whatever. They're a little, like, about it, but they're fine with it, weirdly enough. At least with the few that I have talked to about it. And my cousins are just fine with it. They don't give a fuck. They're all chill with it. And, I mean, if anything, I know one of them would probably be into some of the, like, culture around, like, weed and stuff like that if he wasn't in the military. So, I mean, I already know one of them would. You know what? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a little bit here and there. I wouldn't be too surprised, but he kind of has like this, like I must, still be disciplined and blah blah blah. Because I mean, if I remember, I think he's in like ROTC, so he's like an officer or something like that. Not like a up end one, but like lower level. If I remember correctly, I actually don't know. I see good stuff for Texas. Hispanics beginning to outnumber whites in 2022. Don't tell the conservatives down there that. Don't tell the white peoples down there that. They'll freak out. Think like some weird ass like white flight shit's going on or whatever the fuck. So dumb. Yeah, it'll take a while, but yeah. I mean, it's. Oh my god, dude! I just started thinking about how stupid that bullshit is. Migrants come to the country, white people's dying off, man. It's like, what the fuck, dude? And what's fucked this dog. But what's fucked is that shit's been around for so damn long, dude. I've been like kind of learning about Eugene Talmadge, like, Georgia's governor from like the 30s and shit. And that dude was just a fucking like, pretty much literally like a proto version of Trump in a lot of ways. Like the commonality between him and his history versus like today is eerie as fuck. I mean, it's like, history, doesn't usually literally repeat itself, but sure shit do rhyme. Because that guy is like legit, like America's like out and out fascist. And even back in the day, like people thought he was too racist and too fucking, fascist and authoritarian. I mean, it was at a point where like at the end, like near the end of his career, most people, including even Talmadge loyalists, didn't like him anymore. And to the point, like, on his final run, his fourth run for governor, where he was about to be inaugurated for his fourth term, he died due to a lot of, like, health complications because he was a really hardcore drinker at the end of his life. And did not eat much. But the dude was just, like... I mean, it's kind of hard to, like, go into, something about the guy, frankly, because there's a lot. Like, there's a lot of shit about him. Like, he was, was one of the big players on busting a lot of the 1934 textile strikes and shit. To the point he literally put workers and picketers, after enacting a state of emergency in a fucking labor camp. I'm not kidding. There was an abandoned one back in World War I for POWs and shit, and he just, like... literally put like hundreds of them in there. It's like, what the fuck? So when I say he's a fascist, I'm not kidding. Like, he literally is. And also had a lot of interesting things to say about Mussolini and Hitler too. And somehow, like, even there was like a newspaper that literally called him like America's Hitler. So like Eugene Talmadge is quite a bastard. Like, legit. Yeah. And also, he was, like, a major, opponent towards, like, the New Deal. And, in fact, he even had, like, a major rift, within like, FDR's like, broad, like the broader party of the FDR's like Democrats, in the North versus like the South. He even literally said, we don't need them Northern Yankee types, I'm just kind of paraphrasing. We don't need them Northern Yankee types and their banker money, having like, black folk down here learning in our schools. We don't need that Illinois, like fucking like school thought down here. And type of shit. Like, he literally, like, genuinely kind of saw states as pretty much like little nations and didn't want like their culture, I guess, to like seep into Georgia. Like, because for a long time he was kind of, a lot of his things were being pro-farmer and like, agricultural and shit like that. And pretty much like kind of keeping it stunted for the most part. Not exactly pro-farmer, but he talked enough to where a lot of the rural country of Georgia, or like the rural countrysides of Georgia and shit, really liked him. It's the same kind of way that, like, Trump, like, bolsters and a lot of his, fan base and shit. There really is, like, a lot of commonalities, or at least similarities, between him versus not just really of Trump, but, like, a lot of modern fascists today. Yeah, podcast, Behind the Bastards, they recently just did like a 4-part, like hour bit episodes on them. So I have, like, talked them up a lot lately because the first part was recommended on my algorithm last 2 days. I'm like, I'm curious about this. Fuck it, I'll listen to this while I'm at work. And I was like, immediately got hooked into it. I was like, whoa, this motherfucker though. I mean, especially if it's in 4 parts, there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to that motherfucker. One of these days, actually, like when DFF does one of their episodes, maybe not this upcoming one on like Tuesday or whatever, but maybe like on Friday, I'll like send in a big super chat, be like, yo, y'all should do an episode, on Eugene Talmadge. I think, like, because legit, they would probably be very curious about it. Like, even on the first surface glance, with that, then it'll just literally be like, because when you first start learning about them, you're just like, oh shit. And then you learn a little bit more, and you're like, oh shit. Learn a little more. Oh shit. He is certainly one of those dudes. But he's definitely like a guy worth reading up about for sure. Oh, speaking of politicians and shit, anyway, I have my ballot, and I have a pen over here, and I already wanted to like fill at least a couple things out that I'm just like, yup. There's actually a decent amount of people like running for the city council here, at least, but I know Mission 119 is about where is it? Oh, here it is. It's about, pretty much allowing, collective bargaining stuff. So that's just pretty much an obvious automatic yes. So I'm just making sure that's going to get itself filled in there. Because that's a no shit der. Bada beam, bada boom. Kill. What's the other ones too, anyway? 118. Increase highest corporate minimum taxes. That seems like a duh. 117 gives voters the option to that's the ranked choice voting one. Yes, that's a no shit. So far, those 3 are yeses. Yeah. If anything, like, honestly, this kind of shit right here is honestly probably the more important thing. This is the politics of electoralism that's important here, folks. It's the measures and stuff like that are in the state. I also have like 2 county measures. Permanently bans certain psilocybin-related businesses with fund incorporated. No, fuck that. Gross. No. Fuck off. That's probably going to be voted in because this county sucks, but, fuck that. Bonds updating facilities, improving workforce training, safety. Sure. Yeah, that's good. Nothing wrong with that. All right, what's this other one? 116. Establishes independent public service compensation commission to determine salaries for specified officials and eliminates legislative authority to set such salaries. Oh, I also just realized there's a 4th or a 3rd county ballot thing. Renew 5-year local option tax for vector mosquito fly control. Sure. I think honestly all these measures, including the local ones, outside of that Yeah, fuck psilocybin based. It's like, nah, fuck that. But everything else, I think, is a yes from what I can look at. At least that's for the ballot measures. And I know Mark Gamba's got a dork running against him, so I'll make sure that Mark Gamba gets voted in too. Also, time check. Okay, cool. Bloop. All right, where I see, there we are. Gamba. There we go. Now it's basically, dude, I don't know if it got yours yet, but I find it absurd that there's all these names on just the presidential one. I mean, there's RFK with the We the People Party. I don't even want to fucking know. Then there's Cornel West. And then there's Chase Oliver, which actually I did, I do know a little bit about him. He's actually kind of cool. He's not the worst guy in the world. Randall Terry of the Constitution Party. And it's like, oh God. Then it got Trump, and then Jill Stein, and then Kamala. And it's like, ugh. And there's a lot of people running in my 5th district. There's Janelle Bynum, Andrea Townsend in the Pacific Green Party. And then there's Chavez DeRamer, or Lori DeRamer, which, I don't like her. Then there's Sanja Feintek. And then there's Britt Smith, which is probably literally the most, whitest American name I've ever heard in my life. Howdy there, Nader. My name's Britt Smith. And my cousin's John Smith. It's like, aye, dude. I always feel some of that up. I'll read up more about that in the future. Stretches. But yeah, like I was saying, at least when it comes to the ballot measures and shit like that, honestly, like I said, that's the stuff that tends to actually be really, realistically, the most important kind of shit. It's fuck the national shit, frankly. Even maybe to a far, lesser extent, but state electoral stuff to an extent. But the local shit and, ballot measure stuff is really the shit you want to, focus with. That's stuff that actually matters a lot more. But that's also why I like Mark Gamba a lot. And whenever I see him on there, it's like, obviously, yes. And that there's not even a question about that. He's proven well more than enough with his record. Because he's actually someone that, shocker, acts like a proper politician that does things for his constituency. What are you doing? Goofy little turd. You wanted food and you literally just sniffed it and you're like, nah. This isn't the ham or the human foods I normally eat, Dad. What the fuck is this? Excuse me. I'm a prima donna, spoiled little princess. Goofball. Need to check mailbox. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that, my new phone would come in today, and, because I was checking mailbox, and alas, there was not. It made me sad. Because that means I can't use it for my trip. It's going to be here while I'm over there. Fuck, this is lame. I mean, it's what... Jesus. I mean, it's whatever, but still, just like... Oh. Because then, the first little pictures on that would have, been out in Minneapolis. But alas, I'm just going to have to rely on my friends and just have them send it to me. Which actually is fine, because Spawn's camera on his phone is pretty good. Oh, and it also means I can't really take pics of some cool shit at the museum either. I'm just like, oh, that's gonna suck. Whatever. That's, like I said, it's not a big deal, but I'll just have my friend, take a couple pics. You stretch bean. Oh my god. What was that, dude? You stretch bean. Can I help you? Can I help you? Why in the fuck are you not eating any of that, dude? It's because you want water. Oh, I guess I'll have to refill the water bowl before I leave. But that's in the kitchen. That's why he's staring at me. He's like, I want water, bro. You have neglected me, Dad. Fuck you. How dare you? Goodness gracious, this silly little bean, dude. This dog is a silly bean. A silly bean, dude. Get my little bowl load up. Cause it's about time to get back to work and all that shit. Then do the usual. Do a little karaoke stream and all that shit. I wonder if Mom's actually gonna be there or not, because she hasn't actually hit me up or followed up about that yet. And I'm just like, shit. Kind of want to know if that's a thing or not. I guess I will find out, a little later when I hit her up. Just be like, hey, that's still happening. I'm pretty sure it is, because she said that, it was scheduled in, I think, so. The fuck? What are you doing? Idiot. I'll at least call it good for now. So, peace out, and of course, we'll be back for that. No karaoke summer only situation, so.